Hello, welcome to Herrera on Hollywood. My name is Stephen Herrera. We talk about Blu-rays and DVDs here. If you're watching this channel, then you like physical media. Today I'm going to talk about CREEPSHOW 2. CREEPSHOW 2 was released in theaters by New World Pictures in 1987, which was 5 years after the first CREEPSHOW. I'm going to talk about the Arrow Video Blu-ray. But before I do that, I want to give you a quick rundown on the previous home video releases on DVD and Blu-ray. The first DVD edition of CREEPSHOW 2 was released by Anchor Bay in 2001. That DVD included a theatrical trailer and a behind-the-scenes still gallery. In 2004, Anchor Bay released a special DiviMax edition DVD. I have that and I can show that to you. It added a commentary with director Michael Gornick, moderated by the DVD producer Perry Martin, Nightmares in Foam Rubber, a special effects documentary featuring Howard Berger and Greg Nicotero, storyboard art, trailers, and the screenplay via DVD-ROM. Let me show you the disc on the inside. Just like the cover, the disc has artwork inspired by the EC comics. And there's an insert on the left that shows you the chapter selections. On the back of that insert is the original CREEPSHOW 2 theatrical artwork. And then on the inside of the insert, there is an essay by Adam Rockoff. You can see that the cover has artwork inspired by the EC comics. Look on the upper left, it says AB Anchor Bay Comics, and the upper right, approved by the CVA, CREEPSHOW Video Anthology. So, nice artwork on this DVD edition. Image Entertainment later released CREEPSHOW 2 on DVD in 2011 and Blu-ray in 2013. But none of the Anchor Bay extras that I've mentioned were included on those editions. This Blu-ray edition from Arrow Video was released in 2016. Let me show you the disc inside. The disc features the newly commissioned artwork, and you can see that the sleeve is reversible and features the original theatrical artwork. There is a booklet included that has information about the restoration as well as an essay, and the newly commissioned artwork is on the cover. This is a 92-minute dark comedy fantasy horror film. It's fun to watch and it's a cult favorite. The tagline is, "When the curtain goes up, the terror begins." CREEPSHOW 2 is directed by Michael Gornick. He was a longtime Romero collaborator who had served as director of photography on CREEPSHOW. He also directed 4 episodes of the television series Tales from the Dark Side. The screenplay for CREEPSHOW 2 is by George A. Romero, based on stories by Stephen King. The directors of photography are Richard Hart and Tom Hurwitz. Edited by Peter Weatherly, and the music is composed by Les Reed and Rick Wakeman, who was a former Yes keyboard player. As with the first CREEPSHOW, CREEPSHOW 2 is an anthology horror film. There are 3 separate stories within the framing device of the experiences of a young boy, Billy, who is a fan of the CREEPSHOW comic book series hosted by the Creep. In the first CREEPSHOW, the Creep is a figure drawn on comic panels, but in CREEPSHOW 2, the Creep alternates between a live-action character played by horror makeup legend Tom Savini and an animated cartoon. The Creep's style and jokes are similar to those of the Crypt Keeper from HBO's Tales from the Crypt. The first story is called Old Chief Woodenhead. Ray and Martha Spruce have raised their family on the profits they made from the small general store they run in a southwestern town called Dead River. Now the town is economically struggling, and Ray gives credit to his customers, including the people of Ben Whitemoon's tribe. When Ray is repainting the wooden statue of an old chief in front of the store, Ben arrives and asks him to keep the tribe's jewels as collateral for the debts. Later, Ben's nephew Sam unexpectedly arrives with 2 other punks to loot the store. They are preparing to travel to Hollywood so that Sam can pursue acting. But old Chief Woodenhead has other plans for them. Ray Spruce is played by George Kennedy. He was a classic Hollywood actor. He was in Cool Hand Luke from 1967 and Airport from 1970. Martha Spruce is played by Dorothy Lamour. She was a classic Hollywood actress. She was in Road to Utopia from 1945 and My Favorite Brunette from 1947. Ben Whitemoon is played by Frank S. Salcedo. He was in a lot of television series, including Walker, Texas Ranger, and Jag. Sam Whitemoon is played by Holt McCallany. This was his second credit. Before CREEPSHOW 2, he was in an episode of All My Children. He was in Fight Club from 1999 and 3 Kings from 1999. Andy Kavanaugh is played by Don Harvey. He was in Tank Girl from 1995. Fatso Gribbons is played by David Holbrook. He's the son of Hal Holbrook, who starred in the original CREEPSHOW. The second story, The Raft, is introduced by a portion of the framing story in which Billy receives a Venus flytrap bulb ordered from an ad in the comic book. The Raft is about 4 college students driving to a remote mountain lake to swim and have fun. Deke and Laverne are having a good time and can't keep their hands off each other in the car. Rachel looks like she would rather not be there, and Randy falls somewhere in between. They swim out to the raft floating in the middle of the lake, but they discover a killer blob floating in the lake too, and it wants to feed on them. Will any of them survive? Randy is played by Daniel Beer. CREEPSHOW 2 was his first credit. He was in Point Break from 1991 and an episode of the TV series Rizzoli and Isles from 2015. Laverne is played by Jeremy Green. She appeared with her identical twin sister Pamela in a television commercial for Doublemint Gum in 1984. Rachel is played by Paige Hanna. She was in an episode of the TV series Freddy's Nightmares in 1989. Deke is played by Paul Satterfield. He was in a lot of television series. He played Spencer Truman in the daytime drama One Life to Live from 2006 to 2007. The third story is called The Hitchhiker. A woman named Annie Lansing is racing home in her Mercedes after an adulterous session with a gigolo. She wants to be home before her husband arrives to avoid being questioned about her whereabouts. She loses control on the slippery road, accidentally runs down a hitchhiker, and takes off into the night. Following the hit-and-run incident, Annie discovers that the dead hitchhiker keeps reappearing. She fights him off and runs him down again and again. The hitchhiker says, "Thanks for the ride, lady." Does Annie Lansing ever make it home? Annie Lansing is played by Lois Chiles. She was in the James Bond movie Moonraker from 1979 and Sweet Liberty from 1986. The truck driver is played by Stephen King, and the hitchhiker is played by Tom Wright. He had a prolific career in film and television. He was in an episode of Tales from the Crypt from 1991, 4 episodes of Seinfeld from 1994 to 95, and the movie Tales from the Hood from 1995. The Hitchhiker is bookended by 2 animated segments from the framing story in which bullies steal Billy's Venus flytrap bulb, but Billy finds a way to get even. Some fun facts about CREEPSHOW 2. Romero's original script for CREEPSHOW 2 had 5 unique stories, plus the wraparound, just like the first film. But budgetary restrictions meant that 2 of the stories had to be dropped, and The Cat from Hell and Pinfall were the victims. The Cat from Hell segment resurfaced a few years later in Tales from the Dark Side, the movie from 1990. In the segment Old Chief Woodenhead, an episode of the television series The Cisco Kid is playing on the television that Fatso is watching. It's also on the television that Kavanaugh's parents are watching. The television series is about the adventures of the Cisco Kid and his sidekick Poncho. It was one of director Michael Gornick's favorite TV shows, so he wanted to include that in CREEPSHOW 2. And the reference to the Cisco Kid continues in the second story, The Raft, as Randy calls Deke Cisco and Deke calls Randy Poncho. In the segment The Hitchhiker, some Stephen King books are visible on the shelf behind the gigolo's bed. It is clearly visible. The other titles are Different Seasons from 1982 and Firestarter from 1980. This is a nice Easter egg, especially since Stephen King had a cameo in the segment. And one of the filming locations was 12890 East Main Street in Humboldt, Arizona. That location was used for the storefront and interiors in the Old Chief Woodenhead segment. This Blu-ray from Arrow Video has great video and audio. The aspect ratio is 1.85 to 1. The framing is different. I noticed more information on the left side. For example, when Fatso is sitting in the chair, you can see more of the 8-track player and cassettes next to him. This Blu-ray edition features a new 2K restoration from the original film elements. And unlike the Image Blu-ray release, which only had a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track, this Arrow edition provides both an LPCM 2.0 and an LPCM mono track, along with a DTS HD Master Audio 5.1 track. The special features include the special features that I mentioned from that Anchor Bay DVD release, the special DiviMax edition. It has screenplay for a sequel, an interview with screenwriter George A. Romero, Tales from the Creep, an interview with actor and makeup artist Tom Savini, Poncho's Last Ride, a new interview with actor Daniel Beer, who plays Randy in The Raft, The Road to Dover, a new interview with actor Tom Wright, who plays the hitchhiker, Nightmares in Foam Rubber, an archive featurette on the special effects of CREEPSHOW 2, including interviews with FX artists Howard Berger and Greg Nicotero. The menu has a misspelling in the title for this special feature. My Friend Rick features Howard Berger discussing his special effects mentor Rick Baker. behind the scenes, which is video footage, an image gallery, trailers and TV spots. There's theatrical trailer 1, theatrical trailer 2, and a TV spot. Audio commentary with director Michael Gornick, hosted by Perry Martin, who was the DVD producer for the DiviMax edition DVD from Anchor Bay. An original screenplay is available as BD-ROM content. The insert booklet contains an essay by Michael Blythe and information on the restoration. The essay indicates that a comic adaptation of the unfilmed segment Pinfall is included with this Blu-ray release, but that's a mistake. It is not included with this Blu-ray release. This Blu-ray edition from Arrow Video is still available. You can buy it online. Arrow Video released CREEPSHOW 2 on 4K Blu-ray on September 30th, 2025. It is a standalone 4K release without a 1080 disc. The special features from this Arrow Video Blu-ray release have been ported over to the 4K Blu-ray. And the 4K release includes a booklet featuring the comic adaptation of the unfilmed CREEPSHOW 2 segment Pinfall by artist Jason Mayo. It's based on a Stephen King story of the same name, and Romero's original screenplay for CREEPSHOW 2 placed Pinfall between Old Chief Woodenhead and The Raft. If you want to watch a horror anthology movie with 3 stories that have fun elements and impressive practical effects, then check out CREEPSHOW 2 on Blu-ray from Arrow Video. Until next time, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and talk to you soon. Bye.